Third Aliyah of Parashat Ki Tisa. Exodus chapter 33, verse 12 through 14. وَيَّمَرْ Moshe El Adonai. Here the aleph is silent because this because this O vowel belongs to the yud. Right? Only time you pronounce aleph as a glottal stop is if there's a vowel directly above or below it. And I know this kind of looks like it's above it, but it depends on the printing edition of your text to what extent it looks over this aleph. But just trust me when I say that it's not supposed to be so above the aleph, but more in between the yud and the aleph. And it belongs to the previous letter because unless it's a guttural letter at the very end of a word, in Hebrew, a vowel always belongs to the letter that comes before it. If it is on the left-hand side of that letter. If it's directly above or below, then it belongs to the letter it's directly above or below. So here, the O vowel, it's supposed to appear as if it's between these two letters, which would mean it belongs to the yud. So yo instead of right? Which means that this aleph has no vowel of its own, and therefore it is silent. Wayomer, you read it as if the aleph's not there, no glottal stop. Wayomer, Moshe. The dot of the sheen is telling you to know that there is a O vowel here, holam. That's why you don't see it, because the dot of the sheen is fulfilling two purposes. If the sheen weren't here, you would see the same kind of O vowel as you see between the yod and the aleph of the previous word. وَيَّمَرْ Moshe El-Adonai Re'eh Ato Omer Elai. And here you can see what a holam, the O vowel, what a holam would look like if it belonged to an aleph. So you can clearly see the difference. If the holam, the O vowel, belongs to the aleph, it's going to be more directly above it and more toward the left. The holam always appears, the O vowel always appears on the left side of the letter it belongs to. Omer Elai. Ha'al. Ha'al. You should hear two distinct syllables, not hal, not hal, but ha'al. If you see two vowels in a word, that means there are two distinct syllables. So you should hear it as two distinct syllables. If you see two vowels, but you're only hearing as if it's one vowel or one syllable, then there's not enough distinction being made in the pronunciation of the word. So not hal, but ha'al. Ha'al. Not hum, or as many speakers of modern Hebrew would read, that's just like one long vowel, It's not, it's clearly distinct two vowels, hazeh. وَأَتَى لَهَذَانِ. We're going to say this word a few times. Tani. We accent this first syllable and we accent this syllable because they have indications that they should be accented. This one has a method which says accent this syllable, which means emphasize the vowel sound here. And this one has a cantillation symbol above it, which says the same thing. In addition to indicating a certain musical melody, it also serves to tell you that this syllable should be accented, which means the vowel is a little bit longer. Tani. F asher tishlah. Tishlah. As we mentioned in the previous Aliyah, Het is pronounced more like the letter H than the letter Chaf. So if it's going to be mispronounced, it's better to mispronounce it as a H sound, as in English, help, him, her, rather than mispronounce it as a Chaf. However, if it's at the end of a word and you're not able to pronounce it properly yet, as a Ha, Tishlah, you can hear it, Tishlah. If you're not yet able to do that, in this case, it's better to mispronounce it as a Chaf than as a regular H, but only when it's at the end of a word or the final letter of a syllable. Because if you mispronounce it as a H when it is the final letter of a syllable, then you're basically going to make it silent, because that's what English speakers usually do when H is at the end of a word or syllable. And it should not be silent. So it's better to hear it mispronounced than not hear it at all. Tishlah immi wa atta amarta yada'ticha. Here we see an indication by the cantillation symbol that ta'am, that we should emphasize this syllable. Yada'ticha. Yada'ticha. Vishem Lagam Masafa. There's no vowel with the aleph, so the aleph is silent. Masafa. Hen. And when I say aleph is silent, I mean it's silent as a consonant, as a glottal stop. But if it's in written form, then the aleph is at the end of a word or a root word. It's in an unvowelized text. It's kind of hinting that there's a vowel there, right? In which case it would be, the aleph would be symbolizing the presence of this vowel in the case that it's not written. But it's not pronounced as a consonant glottal stop because there's no vowel written above or below it in the vowelized text. Asafa, hen, be'eno. I'm sorry, be'enoi, be'enoi, be'enoi. You're always going to make mistakes on occasion, no matter how advanced you are. But if you make a mistake, it's good to read the word a few more times to try to rectify, atone for the mistake that you made. And I don't mean by atonement like trembling that you're going to hell or anything, but what I mean is to rectify, to correct the mistake in your mind. Because if you've created a pattern for a mistake, then you need to kind of go to the other direction of making it correct to habituate yourself to doing it correctly. So I mispronounced it as be'eno. It should be be'enoi. So I'm going to say that a few more times to get it into my head. It's not be'eno, it's be'enoi. 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 Let's read the pasuk again from the beginning. وَيَّمَرْ Moshe El Adonai Ato Omer, sorry, Omer Elai. وَيَّمَرْ Moshe El Adonai Ato Omer Elai. Ha'al F Am Azza. Ha'al F Am Azza. وأتو لهذعتاني. وأتو لهذعتاني. وأتو لهذعتاني. إث أشار تشلح عمي. إث أشار تشلح عمي. وأتو أمارت ידעתיך, ידעתיך, בשם וגם מוסף חן בעיניי. One final time. ויאמר משה אל אדוני, ראה אתה אומר אלי, העל את העם הזה, ואתה לא הודעתני את אשר תשלח עמי, ואתה אמרת ידעתיך בשם, וגם מוסף חן בעיניי. Next pasuk. ועתה אם נא מוספי חן בעיניך. ועתה אם נא, ועתה אם נא מוספי חן בעיניך. בעיניך. הביעני. هذياني, because there's indicators of which syllable to accent. Mether, هذياني, no. Eth, derachecha, derachecha, وإذاعcha, وإذاعcha. Right, the ayin is under accented because there's a shawah, two dots on top of each other. Previous syllable, the is accented because there's a ta'am there. Also the last syllable. وَإِذَاعَخَا, وَإِذَاعَخَا, وَإِذَاعَخَا. لَمَاعًا, لَمَاعًا. Ta'am, cantillation symbol. لَمَاعًا. أمصاحًا بعناخا, بعناخا. Ur'eh, ur'eh. Here the aleph is sounded as a consonant. It's a glottal stop because there's a vowel associated with it. Ur'eh, ki, ammacha. And so it's ur'eh. There's a glottal stop, so the aleph is pronounced ur'eh. So it's ur'eh and not ureh. Ureh would mean there's no shva here. If you said ureh, as most people do, ureh, then you're actually moving the vowel under the aleph and placing it under the resh. That's incorrect. That's not the Masorah. That's not the tradition of Israel. It's not ureh. It's ureh. Ureh. Ki, ammacha. You know that this is a sounded shava, that is a short vowel, because there's a dagesh in the mem. If there's a dagesh in the letter over the shawah, you know it's a sounded shawah. Ammacha, agoy, azeh. From the beginning. Wa'ata, im, na, masafi, hen, be'inacha. Usually when you see a yud, immediately before a pronoun suffix, then that yud is not going to be pronounced, right? If it were an unvowelized text, you could understand the yud as symbolizing the vowel underneath the previous letter, but it's not pronounced unto itself. And the yud is never pronounced as a Y unless there's a vowel above or below it in a vowelized text. Ve'enecha, هذياني, no, no, eth, derachecha, derachecha. Accent the cha. I'm sorry, the cha. Derachecha. وإذاعها, وإذاعها. لماعًا أمصاحًا بعناخا. ur'eh, ki, ammacha, agoy, azeh. We'll read it one more time. وعطاء إمنا مصافح بعناخا هذعاننا أفدرخاخا وإذاعخا لما عن أمصاح بعناخا ورئاكي عمخا حقي هزان. Final pasuk Yud Daled, pasuk 14. ويمار 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 قناي يليخو يليخو وهني حاثي وهني حاثي لخ ويمار ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ ويمار ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ. One more time. ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ. ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ. ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ. ويمار قناي يليخو وهني حاثي لخ.